mainly specimen of placenta. So I will just go in short. You have already read in embryology, development of placenta. Have you read? Or your lecture class already covered development of placenta and fetus? Already covered, I know. You attended or not? Development of placenta and fetus was separate topic. Already covered. ঠিক আছে যাও এখন যা আছে এটা শর্টে বলছি আমি প্লাসেন্টা মেইনলি স্ট্রাকচার নট ডেভেলপমেন্ট I will say in just short mainly structure of placenta and gross because in exam you will be asked specino placenta. Human placenta develops from two sources. One part is maternal and one part is fetal. Both combined, then placenta is formed. Development of placenta begins around from second week of gestation age and continue around 12 weeks. Then remodeling occurs around 16 weeks of spiral arteries. The fetal component is known as chorionic frondosum and the maternal component is known as decidua basalis. Okay. Human placenta is discoid in shape and discoid in shape, this shape hai, discoid shape. Second point is hemoporial. What do you mean by hemoporial? Hemoporial means ki there is to some extent mixing of blood. There is not direct mixing but they come in contact. Like I will tell you later on with diagram ki the lacunae or the intervillous space are filled with maternal blood and the villi from the chorion are going and exchange of blood is taking place. So hemoporial is because of mixing of some sort of mixing of the blood. And what do you mean by deciduate? When we say human placenta, these three characteristics are tell. You have to tell discoid shape, hemoporial, deciduate. What do you mean by deciduate? Why it is called as deciduate? Deciduate means one term was decidua basalis. Deciduate means ki some part of maternal uterine tissue is shed after delivery. Okay, placenta is maternal and fetal part. Fetal part is obviously shed. Along with fetal part of the placenta, some maternal tissue is also shed during the parturition or delivery, after delivery. That's why it is known as deciduate. Okay. It is fleshy mass around 500 gram weight, diameter is around 15 to 20 centimeter as you can see, and thickness is around 2.5 to 3 centimeter. And spongy to feel occupies around 30% of the uterine wall. There are two surfaces, maternal and fetal. Which one is maternal, which one is fetal? And this one is maternal. Okay. There are many cotyledons you can see, around 15 to 20 maternal cotyledons, and this is amnion and chorion. Okay, and this is umbilical cord arising from the center of the placenta. Okay. This is the human placenta. It is covered by smooth glistening amnion overlying the chorion. The umbilical cord is attached. Branches of the umbilical vessels are visible beneath the amnion as they radiate from the insertion of the cord. It is spongy, rough. Maternal blood gives it dull red color and remnants of decidua basalis gives it shaggy appearance. This is the chorion and amnion. This is chorion, this is amnion. This is the umbilical vessel. How many umbilical vessels are there? 3. Name? How many arteries, how many veins? Yes. There are 2 arteries and 1 vein. Which umbilical vein is here? Left or right? Left. Left is left. These are the cotyledons. And these are the cotyledons. Decidua basalis removed. You can clearly see the cotyledons. And this is amnion. This is chorionic plate. This below this is the chorionic plate. This whitish structure, that is chorionic plate. And these are the chorionic vessels. These structures are the chorionic vessels. Margins of the placenta are formed by the fused chorion in the basal plate. Placenta is attached to the upper part of uterine body, either at the posterior or anterior wall. It can be lateral also. After delivery, placenta separates with the line of separation being through the decidua spongiosum, immediate intermediate spongy layer of the decidua basalis. Some part of decidua basalis is shed. That's why it is known as deciduate. This is just in short embryology. This is suppose this is the uterine wall and the blastocyst implants in the uterine wall. Okay, so initially it is made of only two layers. Outer one is the trophoblast or trophectoderm, or mainly we call it as trophoblast, the single layer, and inner cell mass. Okay, after 6 to 7 days it implants fully inside. This is the layer. It goes inside the bury inside the uterine wall. मतलब पूरा uterine wall के अंदर जाके embedded हो गया. ठीक है. अब then this the trophoblast starts differentiating into two. Syncytial trophoblast, that is this. Why it is known as syncytial trophoblast? Syncytium, because cell wall is shed and only nuclei is present. So here only nuclei are present. This is syncytial trophoblast, and this layer is now known as cytotrophoblast, retaining the cell membrane, okay, or cell wall. And this inner cell wall differentiate, and this is separate embryology of the fetus, that will be dealt separately. But today we will only focus on the placenta development, not inner cell mass development. This is known as cytotrophoblast, and this is known as syncytial trophoblast, which form the primitive syncytium. Okay, slowly in the syncytium or syncytial trophoblast, lacunae starts to form. Means ki holes, small holes start to form. And what happens? These holes slowly rupture the uterine vessel, uterine spiral arteries and veins. They will rupture and they will open in this lacunae. So that's why these lacunae slowly gets filled with the maternal blood. Okay, and what happens? Slowly this cytotrophoblast, it invaginates or form primitive villi like this. Slide, you can see slide invagination. This is primitive villi. Primary villi, then will be secondary villi, then tertiary branching will be happening. Like suppose tree को मान लो कि इन सन में अगर ट्री है तो जितने ब्रांचेस होंगे उतना अच्छा उसको न्यूट्रिशन मिलेगा, सन रेज मिलेंगे उतना अच्छा ऑक्सीजन रिलीज कर पाएगा जितने ज्यादा ब्रांचेस होंगे. ठीक, same way here, slowly villi differentiates from primary to secondary to tertiary. Tertiary means और बहुत सारे finger projection like होंगे. ठीक, then what happens? This is the cytotrophoblast, and this is the embryo developing. This is your mesoderm in developing between this epiderm and hypoderm. Okay? So some part of the mesoderm is lying outside this inner cell mass. That is known as extra embryonic mesoderm. That also invaginates along with the tertiary villi, and they will form the future vessels, chorionic vessels. जो एक्स्ट्राएम्ब्रियोनिक मेसोडर्म इज बेसिकली फॉर्मिंग द वेसल्स, और जो फाइनली फ्यूज होता है अम्बिलिकल कॉर्ड से जाके फ्यूज होता है. मतलब ये these vessels are being formed mainly from the extraembryonic mesoderm. तो जो primitive villi हैं इसके अंदर भी आ जाता है तुम्हारा extraembryonic mesoderm का पार्ट भी होता है. ठीक है, and embryo is as such developing as you have studied earlier. अच्छा, this is the just the short decidua basalis कौन सा है, paritalis क्या है, capsularis क्या है. Basalis is the just where the embryo is attached to the uterus. Decidua, this is decidua basalis, and just above the embryo the layer of uterus is known as decidua capsularis, and the part away or covering the rest of the uterine cavity is known as decidua paritalis. Okay? Later on the paritalis capsularis fuse. Okay, and decidua basalis and chorionic fundosum forms the placenta. Okay, rest of them they get fused later on. Okay, and slowly whole of the uterus is filled with only fetus, and it both get fused, and rest of the chorionic leaf, whatever is left over here, they also get fused. These all three get fused over here in the periphery, and main work of exchange is going on in this placental part. This is the same thing. Now, structure of placenta. These thing I was talking about. This is the syncytial trophoblast lining the intervillous space. This is the intervillous space. It gets filled with maternal blood. How? These are the maternal vessels. They open up into the intervillous space, and through that it gets filled with maternal blood. This is filled with maternal blood, and this is the syncytial trophoblast. And what is this? This cytotrophoblast. And this rest of the part is extraembryonic mesoderm, which is forming the embryonic vessels or fetal vessels. Oh, mesoderm cone with capillaries. These are the capillaries forming anastomosis over here. Okay. There is the placental membrane is formed in between these two. This is the fetal blood. This is the maternal blood. Just rough. This is the fetal blood, and this is the maternal blood. And these things are in between them, and the exchange takes place in between this layer only. Okay, so this is cytotrophoblast, this is syncytial trophoblast, this is outer cytotrophoblast. It totally invaginates into the uterine wall. That's why the cytotrophoblast goes from here to here. Yeah? And here you will not be able to find any syncytial trophoblast. Syncytial trophoblast is only now present in the intervillous space membrane. Okay, and this is Nitabux layer. Okay, this is the fibroid degeneration between the cytotrophoblast and the decidua basalis. What is the main role of Nitabux layer? It prevents the invagination or excess invagination of the fetal vessels in the uterine cavity. And I will tell you the significance later on. And this is overall, this one is known as basal plate. Decidua basalis, Nitabux layer, outer cytotrophoblast. This is known as basal plate, and the rest, this part is known as chorionic plate. Okay. Placenta is emitted by the embryonic membrane on the fetal side and the basal plate on the maternal side. Fetal side में क्या होता है? Amniotic membrane. Maternal side में क्या होता है? Basal plate. Between these two lies the intervillous space filled with maternal blood and stem villi with their branches. Amniotic membrane is single layer of cuboidal epithelium loosely attached to the adjacent chorionic plate and does not take part in placental formation. Amnion doesn't take part in placental formation. This is just shiny, this whitish structure that will cover the baby or fetus. Chorionic plate forms the roof of the placenta. This is the roof of the placenta. From outside to inwards, it consists of syncytial trophoblast, then cytotrophoblast, and extraembryonic mesoderm with branches of umbilical cord. This is syncytial trophoblast, this is cytotrophoblast, this is extraembryonic mesoderm having the branches of umbilical vessels. This is chorionic plate. Basal plate, it forms the floor from outside to inwards, consists of compact and spongy layer of decidua basalis, layer of Nitabux, and cytotrophoblastic shell. This is basal plate. Basal plate is perforated by the spiral arteries allowing entry of maternal blood into the intervillous space. Layer of Nitabux. It is a fibrinous layer formed at the junction of cytotrophoblastic shell with the decidua due to fibrinoid degeneration of the syncytial trophoblast. It prevents excessive penetration of the decidua by the trophoblast. It prevents excessive invagination or penetration. How it is important? Have you seen any case of post-CS pregnancy? There are different types of placental adhesion in the post-CS pregnancy, or even in primary patient also, primary gravida also it can happen. That is placenta accreta, placenta increta, placenta percreta. In these severe cases, increta, percreta, Nitabux layer is sometimes absent, and due to that bladder is in front. After that there is uterus. Many times adhesion is so severe, or penetration is so severe that placenta gets adhered to the bladder, and when after delivery we want to separate the placenta, we are not able to separate due to invagination penetration inside the bladder wall. In that case we have to cut the bladder wall also. That's the significance of Nitabux layer. If it is absent, that will be disastrous for the patient. Jitterbug's membrane is absent in placenta, accrete and other membranely adherent placenta. Intervillous space. Numerous branch villi arising from the stem villi project into the space, as lined internally by the syncytial trophoblast. This is the uterine muscle. This is the outer to inside amnion, primary mesoderm, atrophic trophoblast. This are known as chorionic leaf. Then fused capsularis and parietalis. Okay, yes, periphery mein. This is at the periphery of the placenta, not placental inside, periphery of the placenta, outside the placenta. Anchoring villi, this is the anchoring villi, arise from the chorionic plate, extend to the basal plate. Fetal cotyledons around 60 to 100, derived from one major primary stem villus, is the structure unit of placenta. Maternal cotyledons are 15 to 20. These are the maternal cotyledons, and the fetal side is fetal cotyledons. Villus is the functional unit of placenta. These are the anchoring villi, and this is the intervillous space, as I told you earlier. This is the placental barrier or membrane. So this is this one. This layer, this junction. Okay, this is being macroscopically seen here. Okay, that thing. This one. Okay, this where exchange is taking place. This is maternal blood. This is fetal vessels, and this is the placental membrane. Okay, or placental barrier. This is shown macroscopically here. But this is maternal blood, this is syncytial trophoblast, then cytotrophoblast, then connective tissue, and this is the fetal vessel and basement membrane of the fetal vessel and endothelium of the fetal vessel. Okay, basement membrane, endothelium of the fetal vessel. This is a fetal capillary. Blood is exchange is going in between these two, maternal side and this is fetal side. Okay. It is separated by the fetal membrane around 0.025 mm thick, endothelial lining of the fetal vessels, connective tissue of the villi, basement membrane, cytotrophoblast, syncytial trophoblast. What are the placental functions? अच्छा बोलो function क्या क्या हैं? Last में पहले plain चीज बोलो. बच्चे को किसी को जरूरत होगा? Blood, nutrition और oxygen. सबसे पहले gaseous आएगा. हम लोग सबसे पहले सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट खाना नहीं भी मिला, गैस चाहिए होगा, ऑक्सीजन चाहिए होगा रहने के लिए, जीने के लिए. ऑक्सीजन इम्पोर्टेंट. दैट मीन्स एक्सचेंज ऑफ गैसेस exchange is very important, like O2 and CO2. O2 will go from maternal side to fetal side, and CO2 will come from the fetal side to maternal side. Okay, gaseous exchange. Then you said nutrients, amino acids, fatty acids, nutrients, glucose. Then जब खाना वाना खाए तो वेस्ट प्रोडक्ट भी होगा, एक्सचेंज ऑफ वेस्ट प्रोडक्ट. देन कम्स योर इम्योलॉजिकल. ओके, एंड इम्योलॉजिकल के अलावा भी कुछ और है, और हार्मोनल. ओके, पीटीएससीजी, एचपीएल, प्रोजेस्टेरोन, एस्ट्रोजन. तो मेन फंक्शन इज दीज टू. मतलब अगर तुमसे वाइवा में पूछा जाए तो ये तीन तो बोलना ही बोलना है. ट्रांसफर ऑफ गैसेस, न्यूट्रिएंट्स एंड वेस्ट प्रोडक्ट. रेस्पिरेटरी फंक्शन, न्यूट्रिटिव फंक्शन, एक्सक्रीटरी फंक्शन. देन कम्स द एंडोक्राइन एंड एंजाइमेटिक फंक्शन, बैरियर फंक्शन एंड इम्यूनोलॉजिकल फंक्शन comes the last. The physical properties of the substance, molecular weight, lipid solubility, ionized substances, these are determine ki how the substance will be transferred between the placental membrane. And rate of blood flow, concentration gradient of the substance on the either side, maternal side में कितने concentration gradient है, fetal side में कितना concentration gradient है, तो बायोकेमिस्ट्री में पढ़ा होगा, है ना. जैसे सिंपल डिफ्यूजन क्या होता है, फैसिलिटेटेड डिफ्यूजन क्या होता है, एक्टिव ट्रांसपोर्ट क्या होता है, वही सब यहाँ पे मेन मैकेनिज्म काम करेगा. ठीक है. सिंपल डिफ्यूजन से क्या होगा, ऑक्सीजन एंड कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड. फैसिलिटेटेड डिफ्यूजन से कौन सा होगा, कैरियर मेडिएटेड. ग्लूकोज विल बी कैरियर मेडिएटेड. देन विटामिन, फैटी एसिड, स्टेरॉइड्स. एक्टिव ट्रांसफर के लिए क्या कौन कौन सा यूज होगा, आयरन में यूज होगा, अमीनो एसिड एंड कैल्शियम. एंडोसाइटोसिस, आईजीजी, इम्यूनोग्लोबुलिन. अच्छा, इम्यूनोग्लोबुलिन कौन कौन से पास कर पाते हैं, or IgM IgA, so it can cross or not? And which viruses can cross placental barrier and which drugs? Almost every virus can cross, and almost every drug can cross the placenta. That's why we need to see which drug is harmful for the baby and which drug is not. That's why we keep selective, because almost all the drug can cross the placental barrier. Although fetal respiratory movement occurs, there is no active exchange of the gases take place inside the fetus. Only exchange take place in the placenta. Intake of oxygen and output of carbon dioxide take place by simple diffusion across the fetal membrane. Waste products like urea, uric acid and creatinine are excreted into the maternal blood by simple diffusion. Barrier function. Placental membrane is thought to be a protective barrier for the fetus against harmful agents in the maternal blood. Substances with larger molecular weight or size like insulin, heparin are not or transferred minimally. Only IgG can be transferred across the placental barrier, Most drugs can cross the placental barrier and some are teratogenic. Various viruses, bacteria, protozoa can cross the placenta and affect the fetus in utero. Immunological function. Important question ये है कि fetus is a foreign substance or foreign body for the maternal, because it contains paternal genes also, paternal tissues also. Okay, that's why it is basically foreign to the maternal body. Why it doesn't reject it? Because of the immunological protection provided by the placenta. Okay, it decreases the immunity or the immunity of the pregnant woman. That's why many times patient or pregnant women get many diseases so quickly, because the immunity is suppressed. Okay, so they this is the by nature the immunity is suppressed a little bit, so that this fetus is not rejected by the mother, because it contains paternally, it is a foreign paternally inherited antigen contains in the fetus and placenta, but is not rejected. Endocrine function क्या है? वही SCG, human placental lactogen, pregnancy specific beta 1 glycoprotein, PA, PPA, steroid hormone, estrogen, progesterone, and these are the different enzymes secreted. अच्छा, these are the different placental abnormalities. ये तो this is the normal placenta. Many times we encounter abnormalities in placenta after delivery of the baby. Most common is this placenta. क्या है इसमें? What is it? There is separate small lobe along with normal placenta. This is separated and vessels are connecting in between these two. One or more small lobe or cotyledon of placenta may be placed at varying distance from the main placenta. Main placenta के अलावा भी एक और छोटा placental lobe is present. A leash of vessels connecting the main to the small lobe transverse through the membrane. Accessory lobe is developed from activated villi on the coronary. जो मैंने बोला ना, coronary leaf is fused. Or many primary villi which are present in the coronary leaf, they get degenerated. Only the placental part is active. Rest get degenerated and get fused. But in some rare cases, these get activated and form accessory lobe. This is the accessory lobe. अच्छा, इस इन accessory lobes का क्या advantage and disadvantage हो सकता है? Do you know any complication related to accessory lobe? Any complication that can happen after delivery? हमने बेबी डिलीवर कर लिया, बेबी इज डिलीवर्ड, नाउ वी आर डिलीवरिंग द प्लेसेंटा, वो भी स्मूथली डिलीवर हो गया. कैसे डिलीवर करते हैं प्लेसेंटा? थर्ड स्टेज डिलीवर में कंट्रोल कॉर्ड ट्रैक्शन, सॉरी डिलीवर हो गया. बट देन वी सॉ कि पीपी स्टार्टेड, postpartum hemorrhage started and uterus is atonic. So what we will think? Tissue trauma, tissue में आ जाएगा any RPOCs, and in RPOCs one doubt should be of this accessory lobe. So it is the if there it can cause PPH because it can be written, because we don't know, normally only 1% is present. So if we see any connecting vessels is there, we can doubt it, or we will explore the uterus, then we can see. And it can cause subinvolution of the uterus, and it can't, if it retain PPH doesn't happen. After 1 month, patient presents with foul smelling discharge, that means patient has underwent sepsis. Okay, it can also cause sepsis in the mother. The saturated lobe, if retained following the birth of the placenta, it may lead to PPS, subinvolution, uterine sepsis. Treatment is exploration of the uterus and removal of the lobe. Just simply we can remove the lobe by exfoliating the uterus or doing check curettage. This is the one more type of abnormal placenta. This is circumvallate placenta. Here a part of chorionic leaf or chorionic plate is absent. And the basal plate is exposed. So what happens ki amniochorion forms a double layer and form a ring-like structure on the edge of this, and this part is exposed. Okay, so this is circumvallate placenta. Due to smaller chorionic plate than the basal plate, the chorionic plate does not extend into the placenta. It doesn't extend. This part doesn't extend up to the margin. It stops only here only. Okay. The amniochorion are folded and rolled back to form a ring, leaving a rim of uncovered placental tissue. What can happen in these cases? They can be abortion, they can be miscarriage, they can be IUGR, preterm labor. These are the different complications. Antepartum hemorrhage can occur, and retained placenta or membrane can occur. Placenta marginata. This is a thin fibrinous ring at present at the margin of the chorionic plate where the fetal vessels appear to terminate. Membranous placenta. The whole of the chorion is covered by functioning villi, and there is no proper layer of the amniochorion, and that's why membranous placenta appears. These are different types. This is the regular, this is circumvallate, and battledore is one where the umbilical cord is normally attached at the center, but in battledore it will be attached at the periphery of the placenta. And one is velamentous, the cord insertion into the membrane. Normally cord inserts on the placenta, but in velamentous cord will be inserted in the membrane and the vessels will be exposed, and chance of trauma or APH, antepartum hemorrhage, is more in velamentous placenta. They can be bilobed also, and they can be fenestrated also. Some central cotyledons are missing. Chorioangioma is a benign tumor of the placenta and are hematomas or chorionic mesenchyme. They are usually small. If a small tumor is present, it is asymptomatic, but if it is large tumor, then it's treated with hydramnios, antepartum hemorrhage. Twins, there is depend on the which type of twin is present. If monochorionic, monoamniotic twin is there, the placenta can be fused. If there is diamniotic, dichorionic, triplet placenta, so that's why in many times when you have to identify which type of twin is there, like basically identification of the type of twin is done around 12 weeks. We can confirm ki which type of twin is there. So many times most of the Indian scenario, they miss the earlier ultrasound. First 3 months से कोई ultrasound नहीं हुआ, they will come just in your 4 or 5th month. मानो anomaly scan के time है 20 weeks में. So at that time many times twin delivery or twin pregnancy is missed, and in worst cases they are not diagnosed with diamniotic, dichorionic है कि monoamniotic है. उस केस में how you can differentiate? By the placenta. If separate placenta is there, that means diamniotic, dichorionic है. अगर फ्यूज है तो दोनों ऑप्शन हो सकता है. ठीक है, फ्यूज मतलब एक साथ है तो दोनों हो सकता है, लेकिन अगर अलग अलग है, they are separate, तो that means diamniotic, dichorionic है. That is the one method to find out ki which type of twin is there. And basically for identification of the twin, you have to do ultrasound from in the first trimester before 12 weeks. Okay, तब शूट आउट होगा. और many times अभी जैसे हम लोग गवर्नमेंट हॉस्पिटल में होता है, कई पेशेंट्स आते हैं, मैनी पुअर पेशेंट कम, तो पूरे 9 months में कभी अल्ट्रासाउंड नहीं कराया. They just did one ultrasound earlier, and for first 4 or 3 months सिंगलेटेड प्रेगनेंसी था तब, या कभी कराया ही नहीं है. दे नो कि वन बेबी इज देयर, एंड वी व्हेन वी डिलीवर्ड द पेशेंट, the when delivery happened, then we saw ki abdomen is still like pregnancy. Then we did PV examination, one more baby was there. And she did this is the actual case, and she did ultrasound in her third trimester, like around 28 weeks her one ultrasound was present. In big babies, they can be missing, chance of missing twin is high in when the gestation age is more, because एक बेबी मान लो तुमने यहाँ पे किया, देखा, यू आर डूइंग अल्ट्रासाउंड, एक बेबी का तुमने हेड देख लिया, पूरा वो देख लिया, ठीक है. अब सेकेंड बेबी उस साइड है कि नहीं, माना तुमने उस साइड भी देखा, तुमने हेड देखा, बट यू कांट एट द सेम टाइम, यू कांट सी बोथ द fetus at the same time. So that's why many times diagnosis is missed if only third trimester ultrasound is done. That's why for twin we always say कि first trimester या at least second trimester में ultrasound हो जाना चाहिए. Okay. ऐसे एक्चुअली बहुत सारे केसेस हुए हैं व्हेन इन यूएसजी ट्विन प्रेगनेंसी इज मिस्ड, स्पेशली इन थर्ड ट्राइमेस्टर, बिकॉज प्रोब इतना सा है, बच्चा बेबी इज सो मच बिग, एट द सेम टाइम दो बेबीज यू कांट सी साइमल्टेनियसली, दैट्स व्हाई इन मेनी केसेस इट इज मिस्ड. अच्छा, now coming on to the umbilical cord, it is the connecting link between the placenta and fetus through which the blood flows, fetal blood flows to and from the placenta. It is around 50-60 centimeter and developed from the connecting stalk and body stalk of the embryo. Diameter is around 2 centimeters, shape is tortuous, showing false knots. It is attached to the fetal cervical placenta near its center, and other attachment is to the ventral aspect of the fetal abdominal wall. Contains two umbilical arteries and one umbilical vein, and surrounded by Wharton's jelly, an amniotic membrane. What is the function of Wharton's jelly? It contains umbilical vessels that connect the fetus to the placenta and allows free movement to the fetus. Compression से बचाता है Wharton's jelly. It protects the vessel from undue torsion and compression. ये जो दिख रहा है ये translucent सा, this is Wharton's jelly. Inside this are the fetal vessels. Abnormal cord length. There can be many abnormalities of the umbilical cord. One of the is abnormal length. It can be short or it can be long. Normal length is around 50 to 60 centimeter. When we call it as short, if it is less than 35 centimeter. When it call it as long, 80 centimeter. Short में क्या हो सकता है, क्या problem हो सकता है short cord में? What can be the problem in short cord? If there is undue traction, there can be fetal distress, and undue traction in the placenta, there can be separation of the placenta, abruptio placentae can be there, okay, in short cord, and prolonged labor, okay. Baby को how baby is delivered, head फैला जाता है और body पीछे है, ठीक है, body को भी deliver होने की body को भी आगे आना होगा. अगर if cord is short, the baby get entangled, or what say, it is not able to deliver properly because cord is short. It is not moving freely because of the traction of the short cord. So prolonged labor can be there. In long cord, what happens? What can be the complication? There can be occurrence of cord around neck, cord around body. There can be true cord knots, and cord prolapse chances are high, and cord compression can be there. This is a short cord. This is the case of long cord. And insertion. What I told you, battledore placenta. The cord inserted at the margin of the placenta, not center. Then velamentous insertion. That means the cord inserted on the membranes. And due to velamentous insertion, one form is vesa previa. If that membranous part where the cord gets inserted, that is in the lower internal os, around the internal os of the uterus. ये uterus है, उसके end पे है, मानो कि ये आपका os है, ठीक है. This is your placenta is low lying. Suppose placenta is low lying. Normally cord should be rising from here, but in velamentous cord is rising from the membrane. Okay, this is the membrane, and vessels are transversing through it. तो जब तक os close है, there is no problem with the patient. But the moment the os opens off, if there is any trauma, there will be bleeding from this vessels can get ruptured and bleeding will be there. That's why in velamentous insertion and in vasa previa cases, chance of APH, antepartum hemorrhage, is very high and very what we say, patient or baby can die in that due to vasa previa, bleeding in vasa previa. There is an emergency. This is truncate insertion. The umbilical cord is in truncated or bifurcated. This is a battledore. The placenta is inserted at the margin, and this is the velamentous inserted in the membrane. Single umbilical artery results due to atrophy of the previously existing umbilical artery. 30% of the infants with one umbilical artery have congenital anomalies. So when you are seeing any anomaly scan report and there is one umbilical written ki one umbilical artery and one umbilical vein is present, the moment you saw it, you have to counsel the patient and further reporting should be done because chances of congenital anomaly is very high. Like Down syndrome is very high. So you have to further evaluate the patient. Okay. तो अगर तुमने रिपोर्ट में देखा सिंगल अम्बिलिकल आर्टरी तो शुड provoke you to do more investigations. Okay. Majority of the cases there are complication and there are congenital anomalies sitting, like tracheoesophageal fistula, renal agenesis, aneuploidy means Down syndrome can be there, renal agenesis, imperforate annulus, vertebral defects, and other cases of IUGR can be there, and preterm delivery can be there. This is a single umbilical artery and vein. These are the knots, these are the false knots. This is the true knot. This is more common in monoamniotic twins. There can be loops. You must have seen many patients coming with UAG report of cord around neck. In cases of long cord, there can be cord around neck. Why cord around neck is important? अगर तुम्हारे पास कोई रिपोर्ट लेके आया ऑफ यूएसजी विद कॉर्ड अराउंड नेक एट अराउंड 28 वीक्स, ठीक है, तो पेशेंट हम टेंशन में आया कि डॉक्टर साहब ये है कॉर्ड अराउंड नेक दिया है अल्ट्रासाउंड में, तो क्या करना चाहिए? तो व्हाट यू विल एडवाइज द पेशेंट? 28 वीक्स है, एवरीथिंग इज फाइन, प्लेसेंटल लोकेशन, fetal weight, everything is fine. 28 weeks pregnancy, she has done USG and there is single loop of cord around neck. What will you counsel the patient? क्या बोलोगे? क्या भी सिजेरियन सेक्शन करा लो? क्या बोलोगे? हाँ, प्रेजेंटेशन देखते होगे. अच्छा, फर्स्ट थिंग, at 28 weeks presentation doesn't matter. ठीक, if she is not in labor, the patient is doing fine, fetal movement is good, the presentation doesn't matter at 28 weeks. Why? Because fetal movements is occurring and at around 34 to 36 weeks presentation is confirmed. Before that, it will for one day you will see breech and after 1 week you will see cephalic. That's why position keeps changing because amniotic fluid is around 15 to 20 centimeter is there, okay, and the freely movement of the fetus is there, so the position keeps on changing. So you will what happens to this cord around neck? There's no problem if patient doesn't go into labor in next 24 to 48 hours. There is no problem in single loop of cord around neck at 28 weeks. But if patient presents to you at 38 weeks having labor pain and loop of cord around neck, single loop doesn't matter as such. But if patient is high risk, like patient elderly priming, yeah, patient is having PIH, high risk cases, you have to counsel ki patient baby can go into asphyxia during labor. You have to counsel that patient baby may go, may not go. If they want, they can have cesarean section, or they can if they are willing to take the risk, they can have normal delivery. Or we have delivered many babies having single loop of cord around neck. There were no such problem. But in high risk cases, you should counsel. It can happen. Many times there are 2 loops or 3 loops of cord around neck. In that case, asphyxia will occur. Because loop of cord is not always diagnosed on ultrasound. Okay, that is not always diagnosed. Or many patient after delivery the baby undergo asphyxia grade 3 HIE. In that cases, many times 2 to 3 loops of cord around this neck, around the fetal neck is found in that cases. And so you have to counsel the patient that it may happen, problem may arise, problem may not arise. Majority of the cases it doesn't matter कि single loop of cord है कि नहीं है, baby delivers fine. If fetal heart sound is good, in that case what you can do CTG. If CTG is doing fine, or non-stress test, or during labor if you are doing CTG it is doing fine, then there is no problem, you can deliver it normally. But if there is deceleration in the CTG or any problem in the CTG, then you have to deliver it fast, or you have to terminate the pregnancy or do the cesarean section. These torsion section can happen, but these are very rare. This is case of torsion. I have not never seen case of torsion in umbilical cord. Seen one case, IFD case. This is cord stricture. This is also very rare. Hematoma, umbilical cord, these are very rare. तुम लोग को मेन जो याद रखना है इसमें से एक तो बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर एंड एबनॉर्मल प्लेसेंटा के टाइप्स, ठीक है, ये मेन ध्यान रखना चाहिए. और फंक्शंस, ये बेसिक चीज है. यू वाइवा में तुम लोग को इतना, जब ये व्हेन इट विल बी शोन इन योर वाइवा, सब थोड़ा पास आ जाओ.